Akayena vai lokaya kulike olu kamana o ha ko kulana ahonuia lanakila lohae lohae alamaika lahui laulae kaulana o mai kalehulehu hahe o Hawaii hanuai me ki aloha lohae ki aloha no kameanui aloha.
Ancient Hawaiians had a cultural component, and if they could get to a special place of refuge, teachers there in the kahunas would work with them and forgive them. And then when they went back into the culture, the people would forgive them. So it was a real big part of their culture to be forgiven and to forgive. Without forgiveness and the heart being closed, you can't be available for your children.
The major goal here is to produce a documentary, an hour-long documentary, that will help parents begin this healing process. The goals and aspects of this program are, number one, using the energy work of Dr. Pratt to help change destructive behavior patterns of parents that are divorcing, make them more aware of the things that are so harmful to their children. The second aspect is learning nonviolent communication skills so that parents can talk to each other without the arguing and the unhappiness that children see between these parents, because that really is very upsetting. The third aspect of this program involves forgiveness, eventual forgiveness that parents need to consider so that they are not locked up in a lot of hatred and guilt and self-hatred as well. It also involves the energy of the dolphins. There is an interaction that occurs between the individual and the dolphins. It's like an unconditional acceptance, which seems to stimulate the inner healing of that individual. Divorce is really a problem today in our society. It seems as if there was an epidemic of children and parents being affected by divorce. We know that 57% of all children in the classroom have divorced or divorcing parents, and this leads to all kinds of behavioral and emotional problems. Children often have long-term scars unless their parents are helped and are able to really bond with their children and see what's happening in their children's lives.
I am the reason my parents are getting a divorce. I love my father and my mother so much that I don't want to lose them.
When I was 9 years old, divorce affected me. I remember crying myself to sleep every night. I thought my world was ending.
My mother and father don't have any idea how sad I am. They're too busy arguing.
My divorce resulted in my children being caught in the middle. It was really sad.
When my parents got divorced, I got to see my dad a few times, but I was still really sad.
I wish I would have handled my divorce differently. I still have skeletons hanging in my closet.
George, as a licensed professional counselor, I talk to my parents about the fact that they are really role models for the behavior of their children. If we want to change the world and create social change, we really need to start with ourselves. So we need to stop and think, what kind of parent am I, and how can I better the world just by being a better parent to my children? What do you think about that?
I completely concur. That's absolutely it. Children are who they have learned to be from role modeling from parents. That and hearing messages, particularly that get stuck in the subconscious because they have no filter mechanism before age 6. So they internalize this, that gets kind of put on their hard drive, and it affects them the rest of their life until they find some tools to have it taken off. So the best thing people can do, parents going through this terribly difficult time, nobody wants to go through that. They want their children to be happy and compassionate and kind and do well in school and have healthy relationships with the other sex during the rest of their life.
And how that really helps children decrease their anxiety about their parents' divorce by seeing their parents being civil towards each other. That's, I think, a very important point about all of this.
Then they don't resent either of the parents like they would hearing the conflict and then being indoctrinated in that way, because that stays with them forever unless they get some proper therapy.
Do you think that people have the ability to heal from the effects of divorce?
Absolutely. I see it every day. When we go through emotional trauma, our defenses are activated. We can have anger, frustration, guilt, sense of betrayal, other intense feelings. And many of us can get emotionally hijacked unless we use tools that help prevent that and help us to deal in a more constructive way, and it absolutely can happen.
I'm stepping out of a world I created. I'm stepping out.
George, can you tell us about the British Medical Journal's articles on the effects of dolphins on individuals?
I'm very excited about this study because even though it's a small study, it has huge implications. And that is the effect of not only pet-assisted therapy and how we can change feelings when we react to nature. What happened in the study, which I think Dr. Andrew Wild is also a consultant on it, the British Medical Journal reported mild to moderate depressed individuals were split into 2 groups. One swam with dolphins, the other swam in the same beautiful environment without the dolphins. Now, what they did find out that even at 3 months follow-up, the individuals that swam with dolphins, they felt required no additional follow-up for depression, which is pretty interesting.
Letting go to live again, living the dreams that I've treasured all along. Knowing now, knowing forever, that love is the answer. I'm stepping out, stepping in to live again.